Best place to start was to ask you about the defensive unit you have here. I was wondering, when you first got here, was that one of your recruiting priorities to make sure you built up the defense, or is it just kind of a coincidence that you guys have gotten so many good, defensive players over the years?
It's obviously a fight. I don't think you can win without good D. I firmly believe that. I thought Union last year had the best D corps in our league, hence, and they competed on the national front. I don't think there's any secret towards that. It's just it's a must to be successful, and I thought that's been a priority for us in terms of recruiting. I think what's gone through is we've gone through. I thought we're just done the youth factor now. We have some experience back there, and some guys have played good roles and major minutes, which were coming in with some experience. Obviously expectations are high for our D-corps, and they'll have to perform with it. But obviously, it's like we've lived through them being big, young, kind of athletic defense. Where we're a little bit up and down, maybe more so than, but you live through those things. It's to get to a certain point we're at now, we have to have some trial and error, and we've had that, and hopefully this year we take that step where the guys have been all rookie team are hinging on getting a chance to play at a high level in the league, and I think collectively as a group we're big, we're athletic, and we're expecting more than them just to defend. We're expecting them to be part of our offense.
Have you seen that unit improve, from your first year here to what you guys have now as far as defense goes? I mean, what's kind of stuck out with you? Just how you seen?
Well, I found that I find that the way I like to coach, I like to take time and space away. Obviously, and I want our guys to be aggressive and not I don't want teams coming across the blue line with the puck on their stick. So you have to be up in your gaps. You have to be tight. Your support guys got to be tight. So there's a lot of expectations for that. Maybe a little bit different than being loose and just backing up and retreating. So from that perspective, we're trying to be aggressive but not on our toes. We're trying to defend properly. So I think that's where you see the biggest thing right out of the gate here with the limited time we've been with our guys, is that they're utilizing their width, they're utilizing their length with their sticks. That they make it very difficult for guys to get time and space. And if that's the case, more importantly for us, we play good defense to get the puck, and then we want to go on offense. And our ability to move pucks and all that is probably the thing that I've been most impressed with our D-corps right now.
And even though they're not in the unit, I was just curious, who are some of your offensive guys that you would say they're really good on the defensive side of things? Sammy, do you have any couple of players that really you notice what their defensive contribution is, even though they're forwards maybe? Or,
Yeah, well, I thought that I think some guys obviously have that role. I think some guys, and we've lived through that. I think, like you take for example, I think Patty McGinnity is a really responsible player. Plays a 200-foot game. I think Christian Powers plays a good, solid. He was a complimentary player, moved up the roster last year. He plays a good complimentary game. That's a 200-foot game. I think we have some players that'll play an offensive role for us this year that maybe instinctively they play the game. I think we're asking our guys. One thing we ask our guys is to play all 200 feet of the ice. Yeah. That's just what we ask. That's our program. We think it's a necessity for them to advance in their careers. We also think it's a necessity for us to be successful in how we have to win here at Clarkson. So our guys, I think, you look at Jeff Dinallo, who will probably be our first-line center this year. He's moving off the wing back into his primary role that he played most of his life. Because we had some maturation of guys that graduated last year. Troy Josephs plays a 200-foot game. It's hard on pucks. Young guy comes through the door, Brett Gervais plays a 200-foot game. So that's the expectation of our guys. Yeah. I think we're just going to have a lot of new guys in new roles. That's probably where our question marks lie right now, is who kind of fits where in the forward group.
Yeah, that was one question I was going to ask was probably what fans are wondering is, with a lot of guys that graduated last year, who do you see as being the goal scorers? Like, where do you expect to get that production from this year?
Well, I think we're going to be a team that scores with numbers. Obviously, that's, I think if we're going to score at the rate we need to score, we're going to have a lot of people that are, I guess the biggest question mark is I think we have a lot of good forwards. I firmly believe that as a coach. What you'd like to have is that same maturity process where we had as our D-corps, where we went from maybe a 5 or 6 into a 3 or 4 or into a 1 or 2 role, where they really move up and they take their time to mature into those roles, and in play we can put them into that. Some of our guys are going to go from minor minutes or minor roles last year because of our senior class. We're older and they played a lot of minutes. They're going to get thrust into maybe where it wasn't like a 4th line role into us, maybe a 2nd or 3rd into a 1st line role. But that's just the way it's going to be. We're going to have new guys, and we might not hit it right off the bat out of the gate here. Some guys might take some time to gel into those roles. But, a good example of that is I thought Jordan Boucher finished really well last year for us. Has had a tremendous offseason. He's going to get an opportunity to come out of the gate. Now, we think he's ready. But it might take a little bit of time for mature. We're anxious and excited to watch him mature into an offensive player for us.